Hey guys, you've just watched the illustration class. One of the most important things in illustration is to know how to use the illustration to actually close the sale. Now I'm going to talk to you about two different things. At the end of the day, in finances and in our industry, when you're talking about saving and investing money, there's only two ways for you to do it. You can either pay Uncle Sam the taxes or you can pay the cost of insurance. What I'm going to try to illustrate to you, and I'm going to try to show you so you can show your client, is all day long and twice on Sunday, the amount of money you're going to pay for a life insurance cost will be well short of what you're going to have to pay Uncle Sam in the form of taxes. So I'm going to bring this up on the computer. I'm going to show you exactly how you would explain this to a client so you can lock down that close. And it's not emotional at this point. It's all about the numbers. So here we go. Let's get to the computer. Okay, here we are, guys. We've done a, Josh Littauer is our prepared young man, 31-year-old, preferred non-tobacco. And he's got $500,000 of life insurance, and we're putting in $1,000 a month, okay? Now, we've done that now for 34 years, as you can see here. He's 64 years old. He's put in a whopping $408,000 of his own money. So Mr. and Mrs. Smith, this would be just as if you were saving money in a pickle jar and you put it under your mattress. Here we are, 34 years later, you've saved $408,000. But the good news is we didn't put it in a pickle jar. What we did was we went and we saved that money, right? We saved that money in a vehicle that can earn interest. Now here we are at that point at age 65, our money has grown to $1.2 million. And if you take a look at the interest rate that we're showing there, it's just above 6%. So it's not like we're showing anything dramatic or astronomical. As a matter of fact, you can go to page 11 of the illustration. I believe it's page 11. You can go to page 11 of the illustration and look at the historic performances of these vehicles. Now, historically, the High Par Select, the BNP Paribas, and the JP Morgan, that has done 16, 17, 18%. So I feel like 6% is really not too high to show somebody. So I actually tell the client that. I showed them what it's done on that slide and say, here's the deal. I'm showing you 6%. I don't think it's too hard for us to get 6%. So in this case, our money is accumulated to $1.2 million. Let's take a look down here and say, what are our overall costs? So let's just do some quick math. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but I'll do some quick math. Let's say 25,000, another 5,000, so we're at 30, and we'll round this up to 10. So we'll say we're at $40,000. Oh, bang, cost of insurance. Here we go. Everything, $40,545. That's what our all-in costs are for this vehicle. So sometimes people are going to say, well, James, $40,000 for insurance? Man, I don't want to pay $40,000 for insurance. I say, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I don't want to pay it either. But I'm either going to have to pay Uncle Sam some taxes or I'm going to have to pay some insurance costs. So it's a matter of numbers. Which one is cheaper? Okay, so let's take a look. At this point, I'm pulling out at age 66, $95,000 a year tax-free. I'm going to do that for the next 20 years or so. Look at what I've pulled out. I've pulled out of this account $1,245,000 completely tax-free. Let's say I passed away at age 81, I died, and I left $710,000 of cash plus my death benefit of $500. So I get a total net death benefit of $1.2 million. So what's that mean? In layman's terms, when I died, my family got $1.2 million. While I lived, I got $1.2 million to use. So let's add those up. That's $2.4 million that this client got to use for a whopping $40,000 of insurance cost. Now, let's contrast that to taxes. If I had a traditional IRA or a mutual fund or stocks or any other non-qualified vehicle, real estate that I didn't live in, and I must pay taxes on $2.4 million, let's say, for example, we stay at the same tax bracket, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Let's say taxes don't go up in the next 50 years. By the way, I think they will. But let's say that they don't. Let's say you're still at a 20% tax bracket. What's 20% of 2.4 million? That's almost $500,000 you would give to Uncle Sam, and you would leave no death benefit to your family. So the choices are simple. You pay $40,000, live a great life, give $1.2 million to your heirs after you passed away, use 1.2 for free, or pay Uncle Sam $500,000 and get no benefits. Which one do you think you like, Mr. and Mrs. Smith? Take your time. That is the close in a nutshell. Anybody who, if you do it properly, is honest and sees this, there's no way in the world they don't decide to use this vehicle. And that's true, by the way. If you're brand new here and you're wondering, is this true? I've been doing this 17 years. I have 19 different index universal lives. I have almost $1 million in cash in my index universal life policies, and I save some $20,000 to $25,000 a month just in index universal life alone. If we can do anything for anybody with any company out there in the market, I'd have to be a real idiot to do this for myself and screw over my own family. So chances are I'm not that idiot. Chances are I'm doing the right thing for me, and I'm telling everybody else what the right thing for them is too. It's a simple math problem. I would much rather pay $40,000 than give $500,000 to Uncle Sam and have no benefits along the way and leave no money to my heirs at the end of it. So this is a simple way for you to explain and use the cost of insurance as a close. So go back and study your illustration class, add this in, use this as your closing technique, and then when they say, yes, that makes sense, the next question is, very simply, here you go. Pay attention, turn your hearing aids up, here it comes. If they say, yes, that makes sense, you say, hey, this vehicle still has to be qualified. You have to qualify because it's life insurance. I don't know if you can qualify, but I think it makes sense. We at least go ahead and try. Don't you? And they're going to say, yes. Then you just be quiet, don't say another word, and start filling out the application or the short form. As soon as they you hand them a pen and they start filling it out, change the subject. Talk about the Texas Rangers, talk about golf, talk about the weather, talk about anything else, but don't go back to talking more about this vehicle. I told you, a confused mind says no. Once they say yes, you're done. Stop talking and get the paperwork done. I hope this helps you, and I hope you use it. I'll talk to you soon.